Let me just say we are not considering a resentencing exercise for IPP prisoners, because that would automatically release a number of people who we do not believe would be safe to release.
But that's simply not true, and the Justice Secretary knows it. By now, most of you will have heard about the IPP scandal. With your help, my films reporting on it have been watched 25 million times. It's one of the most shocking, cruel, inhumane, degrading and monumental injustices of the past half-century. A scandal which has led to this.
Behind these bars is a man who has been in prison for 11 years for stealing a mobile phone.
In any sensible world, spending 16 years in jail for stealing a flower pot seems ridiculous, yet it has happened here under what are called imprisonment for public protection sentences.
It's unthinkable, isn't it? IPP sentences were rightly abolished over a decade ago on human rights grounds, but not retrospectively. So we still have almost 3,000 people serving these sentences from behind bars.
This is one of the most scandalous stories in the British justice system in a long while. The psychological effects on the individuals would amount, in my opinion, depending on an individual assessment, to psychological torture.
This scandal has already claimed the lives of more than 90 people serving IPP sentences in prison, and a further 31 that we know of in the community. Former Supreme Court Justice Lord Browne called IPP sentences the greatest single stain on our justice system. And our last Justice Secretary agreed. Even Lord Blunkett, the Labour Home Secretary who introduced the sentences, now regrets them.
There are times in life when you put your hands up. I got my part of it wrong.
This tragic miscarriage of justice has got to end before more lives are lost. Now, the House of Commons Justice Select Committee says a resentencing exercise overseen by a panel of experts for everyone still serving an IPP sentence is the only way to address the unique injustice caused by the IPP sentence. And this is the Justice Secretary's response.
Let me just say we are not considering a resentencing exercise for IPP prisoners, because that would automatically release a number of people who we do not believe would be safe to release.
It's simply not true. As I've said, the House of Commons Justice Select Committee says a resentencing exercise overseen by a panel of experts for everyone still serving an IPP sentence is the only way to address the unique injustice caused by the IPP sentence. And it's recommended the panel explore how resentencing could happen in a timely way, but one that would not jeopardise public protection. That doesn't mean immediate and automatic release as the Justice Secretary suggests. And as for this,
that would automatically release a number of people who we do not believe would be safe to release.
Data obtained by Sky News through a Freedom of Information request shows only 83 IPP prisoners who've been released since 2012 have been convicted of a serious further offence upon or after their release. And let's not forget this.
In short, if we fail to act now, we face the collapse of the criminal justice system and a total breakdown of law and order.
If our prisons are at breaking point, why are prisoners that were given a 12-month sentence still there 19 years later, whilst others are released early? It's completely nonsensical. And resentencing IPP prisoners will not only end once and for all one of the most cruel and monumental injustices of the past half-century, it will also head off the medium-term prison capacity crisis at the same time. It's a complete no-brainer.